Okay, so this is part 2 of yesterday's video where I'm going to clarify the Star of David karma, time and frequency in relevance to the soul contract. So the Star of David is a 6-pointed star that represents ascension. It represents the gateway for consciousness to enter the earthly realm by 2 triangles, one pointing down and one pointing upwards. The one pointing down represents all of the earthly vibrations, and the one pointing upward represents the spiritual vibrations of experience within one's life. This symbol acts as a projector for the Hebrew tree of life coming directly from the Torah, of which every character represents a frequency of every experience one could possibly have on an earthly plane. So this line means awareness and this line means time. These points along time represents a vibrational frequency and energy, a specific energy in which a situation occurs. This situation gives you the option, should you have awareness of it, you could react differently or respond differently, to choose the high road where you'll continue to raise in awareness to conscious growth, given that enough time has passed and enough times where you've experienced similar situations on the same line of frequency that you've overcome, you're able to respond rather than react to it. A good example here is the frequency 2-2, which talks about foolishness to wisdom. The person who makes a lot of foolish choices, and sometimes they make a lot of wise decisions, but they mainly make foolish decisions due to acting on emotion rather than reacting or thinking objectively of what they can do in the present moment. By learning how to regulate your nervous system and manage your emotions when the time pops up, and how to no longer react in situations. Perhaps this time somebody told you something and you reacted in a bad way, but you became aware of what you did. So as time moved along, somebody again in a different situation tells you something, but this time you're able to notice when it happened, and you're able to hold yourself back from saying something or doing something that you didn't want to do, that's not aligned with where you want to be. Like this, time continues, and with more situations that show up in a similar context, you're given the opportunity to move from that foolishness energy into wisdom, to look at the world with this wisdom from that height, from objectivity for what it is, and not react, but instead respond. Imagine we're someone walking down the road and when we see $100 laying around on the ground. There's absolutely no one around, so we could either take this money and pocket it or leave it there. Now this is a question on morality. The mere fact that we got awareness of the situation means that we have a choice. Should we take step 1 where we act in ego, or step 2 where we act out of ego and do the right thing? I think personally I would take it if no one was around and no one was there to claim it. But if it was a situation where it was a closed environment and it was obviously someone's money, I'd return it. Choosing your path of frequency is exactly like this. Do you choose the path aligned with source, or do you choose the path aligned with ego? And are you going to take into factor all of the outside influences that wants to play in this battle of decision? By the way, this is a symbol for the number 18, which is represented by the Hebrew letter Tzadi. It says that you have to swallow enough experience to not take into factor the outside influence and then make the decision align with what you want to choose, whether it be that with ego or that with source. But the main important takeaway here is that no decision is a wrong decision, because even the path taken with ego often takes you on a very scenic route of things you wouldn't have experienced if you took this path, because what's for you will never miss you. If you think you're ready to see how these frequencies show up in your life and how you could work with them, feel free to book an aligned purpose reading directly on my website. I'll never reach out to you first, and my link is in my bio. I love you. Have a good night.